Call of Duty Cold War has had many ups and downs since its release back in November 2020. The biggest reason people buy a Call of Duty game is for its multiplayer, but Call of Duty struggled to deliver and left fans angry and disappointing with this year's release. I stopped playing Cold War in late December, not long after the first season was released, because I just wasn't having fun with it. But in today's video, I'm going to take a look back at the multiplayer for Cold War and find out if it's got any better. The biggest thing that annoyed me about Cold War when I first began playing last November was the fact it felt like a rip-off of Fortnite. Cold War was trying to duplicate Fortnite's success, and the result was an unpolished and frustrating game. And that's still the same today. Much like Fortnite, Cold War releases new seasons and battle passes for players, and in an attempt to squeeze even more money out of the community, they've also released multiple bundles and packs over the year for ridiculous prices considering what you actually get. Why is a game targeted at age 18 plus copying a game that's age 12? One reason: money. I hadn't even been playing the game for 5 minutes before being asked if I wanted to buy the battle pass. I understand that games are trying to make as much money as possible, but shouldn't the prime concern be the game and the gameplay itself, not making money from the community? I find Cold War has all the same bugs and flaws that annoyed me 9 months ago. Instead of fixing problems the game has and giving the community what we want, Cold War has spent time making DLC that nobody even cares about. Players still seem to jump out of thin air, lobbies take ages to load into, colours and textures occasionally lag out, I'm still unable to check friends' combat records, the kill streaks are still awful, and I could literally go on forever. Skill-based matchmaking is still a huge annoyance and plays a massive part in the reason why I don't really like Cold War anymore. I think the reasons behind it being included in Cold War don't even work, and in my opinion it has ruined this year's Call of Duty, which did have so much potential. The skill-based matchmaking is so intense it makes it impossible to have any form of consistent gameplay, which makes it hard to play for any long period of time. One game you may do great and get a KD of 2 or 3, or even higher. Then the next 5 games you'll struggle to keep your KD above 1. That's how intense the skill-based matchmaking is. This is extremely frustrating, which just makes me turn the game off. For example, I had a couple of decent games and had around 25 to 30 kills and around 5 to 10 deaths. Straight after, the following game I finished on 16 kills and 18 deaths. And at this point I just turned the game off because I knew I'd just been put into a higher level lobby and I couldn't be bothered for it. And I'm sure I'm not the only person this happens to. The skill-based matchmaking sucks all of the fun out of the game. As soon as you start doing well, you might start thinking, this game's actually alright, the skill-based matchmaking isn't that bad. But then you'll be put into a higher level lobby and you'll be slaughtered for a few games. Another thing I was really disappointed in with this game is the kill streaks. The kill streaks are actually pathetic, they're awful. My favourite Call of Duty was Black Ops 1, and the kill streaks in the game were not only amazing, but I also feel that any player, no matter how good they were, it was actually possible for them to get the higher end kill streaks, like the chopper gunner or dogs. But in Cold War, I feel like I can't remember that. I don't know the highest kill streak I've got, but I know it's definitely not any of the top 4 or 5, because I just feel that they're so difficult to get, and unless you're an absolute beast of a player, you're not gonna get them. And I feel that they're not even good. I mean, who wants a bow and arrow that has a flame on it? You know, what's fun about that? So I think the kill streaks were awful, and I was really disappointed in this game. It's a huge shame that Call of Duty are focusing solely on making money, rather than the game and the community. This game had so much potential, which to me just makes me even more annoyed at why the game's so awful. And I feel that online could be the best we've seen in years. Literally. I feel like the online we've seen in Call of Duty games has just been awful. The maps have been awful. I think the guns have been awful. I think it's just been boring. I feel this has actually got the potential, and still has got the potential, to be one of the best Call of Duties we've had in years. But the skill-based matchmaking just ruins it. The amount of bugs and lags that are going completely unfixed as well completely ruin the experience, which is extremely disappointing. On a positive note, whilst I was coming back and replaying Cold War, I did really enjoy the maps. I think they're the best maps in a Call of Duty game we've had for years. I think Call of Duty games have really struggled with the maps over the past few years and they've been awful. But in Cold War I think they've been really good. And one of the main reasons for that is because they've brought back returning iconic maps from previous Call of Duties, which are really fun to play. And it's good to have them all in one game. But the skill-based matchmaking just overpowers the fun, so as soon as you do start having any fun in this game, it won't be for very long, because as soon as you start playing well, you'll be moving into a much more difficult lobby, which won't be so fun. The guns and time to kill were really good, and I liked the weapon camos you could unlock, but I would never buy any DLC camos like the game wants you to. So, has Cold War Online improved, and is it worth playing 10 months after its original release? Absolutely not, it's a pile of garbage. The game is still full of an absolute ton of bugs and it glitches way too many times during matches, which results in extremely frustrating deaths. Skill-based matchmaking plays a huge part, which makes for an unenjoyable experience, as most games feel like a competition with Call of Duty's top players. Having great maps and bringing back some of the most iconic maps in Call of Duty history is a great idea, but it's not enough to make me put up with everything else that's wrong with this game. So in my opinion, I wouldn't bother playing this game in 2021. I wouldn't even bother playing the next Call of Duty Vanguard when that comes out, because it's going to be exactly the same, but I'd spend your time playing something much more enjoyable.